All right. I think we are live for real this time, guys. Yeah, so last time we had a little bit of malfunction. We may have done the first 5 minutes of this already, so we will re-rehearse this now. So, Revis, what you got on your mug over there?
Oh, this right here? Nothing. Wouldn't you like to know? See, the joke doesn't work until the second time.
Well, only we've heard the joke, so it's okay. So, welcome, guys, to Wake Up with ZRL. This is kind of going to be like a roundtable series that we move forward with throughout the season. As we already got our schedule thing messed up from previous 5 minutes. Yeah, but we're excited to start doing this Saturday mornings. I don't know whose idea it was to do it on Saturday mornings, but
I blame you.
Always.
unfortunately, I think let's blame Domin Man. He's the marketing guy, so let's just go ahead and
Ooh.
blame him. It's his idea. Yeah, so let's actually get right into it. Last night we had a race. We had the Reserve Academy race. So actually we had someone send in a clip for that. Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Whoa, 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 wow. What the fuck just...
Wow. So I think what we saw there was Revis had a little bit of an incident in the Reserve Academy race last night. What happened,
Yeah.
Revis?
See, what had happened is Red Bull had actually poured something on the curb so you couldn't take them. So we actually have done an investigation, and Red Bull is already cheating this weekend. So stay off that curb because they've poured some sort of slick substance that will give you wings and yeet you across the track.
Can we get a no, Mikey? No, this is so not right.
No, Mikey, no.
Oh shit! Headset came off at all, man.
Yeah.
So last night's results. Go ahead.
I mean, I must say the peak of that video was just the effort that you could clearly tell that Revis put into the car design.
I think it was very minimal, if anything.
Just straight gray.
Yeah.
So what actually happened there is I actually completely deleted my and reinstalled F1, deleted all my settings, deleted the cloud save from Steam, and so I literally only had whatever the most basic default was.
That's
so
too funny, man. That's too funny.
Yeah.
Well, so last night we did have a race, even though you couldn't make it through it. We had a Reserve Academy race. We had 8 drivers show up. So shout out to those 8 drivers. Race was actually won by Spanini. Beamer NG got second place. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, he did. And then Dumb Welder ended up in third place, starting 9th on the grid. So shout out to those guys for that performance. And the qualifying times I'm seeing are in the 114s. What do we think about that?
Those are good times.
Yeah,
those are quick.
Absolutely.
Those are D2, D1 times. I mean, that's if we look at our time trial table over there. That's where a lot of the really quick guys are. Is where your Ethans, your Ians, your Johannes's are in that area.
Yeah. So these Academy drivers, don't get it twisted. These guys are no joke still, and they're kind of just at a point where they're waiting for a seat. Especially Spanini and Beamer NG, crazy fast times yesterday, guys, and well done on that.
So and shout out to Goatmere. No penalties for the race, so can never fault somebody for driving a clean race.
Absolutely, guys. So, all right, let's move on to last week. We were at the Silverstone Grand Prix. We were out in Britain, and Division 3. Let's give a little recap on that. Revis, how did Mercedes do?
Mercedes did okay. Not great. We have obviously 2 of our drivers were out. We've got one that is out on family holiday, and the other, can't remember exactly the circumstances, Slovene and the Aston Martin. So we've got the artist formerly known as Sargento, Vitor Venante. Both of them were out, but we did have a great reserve in Tanner Desmond. Tanner ended up, I believe, in P4. And so really good result there. And Siggy won. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot more you could ask for. Had a good showing from Kyle Desmond in 5th, Mr. Robot in 9th. So out of the top 10, we held 4 of those spots through Mercedes power. So yeah, so not upset. Definitely would have liked to see a little more from some of the folks further down the grid. Raz put it on pole. Probably could have won, but had a lot of incidents, had some netcode issues, a couple of spins. So just kind of a rough outing for him, but still ended up P11.
Yeah, Adam, how did Alpine do?
Could have been better. So, Dom, he missed qualifying, so starting in the back of the grid, had a pretty good recovery drive all the way back up to 6th, so can't fault him there for that.
Yep.
If first official race with the wheel and the new rig, so well done, making up 14 places. So our number one draft pick had a rough night, rough go of it. Didn't do too bad in qualifying, but got caught up in that turn 1, turn 2 incident on lap 1, and never really recovered there. Had to pit a couple times. So we're looking for better results this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Honda gang over here. I know we don't. I just realized we don't have a Ferrari spokesperson here. So let's go ahead.
I'll do it. So I think we were there. Axelized. Hold on, am I looking at the right screen?
Yeah.
Maple syrup, hockey, football, Buffalo Bills. Oh, Axelized was in second. So
yeah,
he was there, and Nux, Genux's Genuck, it was in 10th. So
yeah. So the reason Ferrari is so well represented today, guys, is because Josh Barnsley slept in. So make sure that you all spam ping him in the Discord chat, and make sure that you wake him up so he feels bad for not making it to this, and then next week we'll give him shit for it. So, Ferrari guys, we're not going to leave you completely hanging. But yeah, Axelized, you were extremely fast and could have won, but things happen. Honda gang, OG, BuzzGod. OG had a great race, and BuzzGod, he had pace to win, and just sometimes things don't go your way. But I think the star of Honda from Division 3 was actually the good old Yuki Tsunoda, or Yuki Tsunoda, however you wanna pronounce his name. But leading a lap, coming as far as he did, I think that we all had a little heartwarming moment when we saw that. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool. All right, let's move on to Division 2. Let's see who Division 2 winner. I honestly was kind of checked out. It was an Alpine, I believe, Adam.
Yes. Johannes came away with the win. Ethan in second. You felt good to get to recover from what we saw in D3 with a 1-2 finish for Alpine. Show that strong draft presence that we got the advantage there. So really proud of both of our guys there. Did well in qualifying and in the race. I was a little worried at the beginning with the early safety car. I think it was only 4 or 5 laps, maybe 6 laps. Johannes went on the mediums and made them last till the end. Got fortunate with another safety car to kind of extend those tires, but it was close there at the end. A lot of pressure from Sid in the Ferrari, Sid and Zeke, Sleek both in the Ferrari on Ethan, but Ethan did a good job of defending and came away with that 1-2 finish. We were proud.
Yeah, I mean, I'll speak on behalf of the Ferrari boys because the Honda gang decided to completely not show up for Division 2. Ferrari did outstanding. And honestly, I would give a shout out.
Froze.
Oh yeah, your camera did freeze.
Let me try turning it off.
You can fix that for us. If not, that stoic picture of you is absolutely beautiful.
Just absolutely fantastic.
It's a lot to deal with. Weird. All right.
Yeah, so the Ferrari gang, I don't know what you want to call them, but specifically Sleek, and who was the other Ferrari? Oh, Sid, Sleek and Sid, man. The pressure they're putting on those two Alpines, and let's be honest, those Alpines are no joke. When you're looking at that lineup of Ethan and Johannes and Div 2, that's scary to look at. But the Ferrari boys showed no fear, and the Honda guys obviously did not. So, Revis, tell us about Mercedes. Are you still dealing with some webcam issues over there?
I don't really care about the camera or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll just leave the background up for now.
Yeah, I don't really think anyone wants to see you anyway, to be honest. So.
Yeah, no, I don't even want to see me. Like, imagine being me and I have to wake up to this every day. Like, I cannot walk by a mirror and I'm not there. So it's not a good time.
It's okay, and he's not offended. He knows. So.
What are we talking about?
No, we were talking about
Division 2.
Yeah, Division 2. Give us a little rundown of Mercedes.
Really boring race. I feel like there was a lot of cheating from Alpine and Ferrari, so that's the only way that I think it could have. So Big Mama Frank had a rough time. One of the Haas cars had a couple issues, and I think Big Mama Frank was involved in both of those. So for him, I know he's disappointed with that P8. Dan Gouda in the McLaren DNF'd. I think he was the only DNF in the race, and just made a stupid mistake. And like immediately after, was talking to me about it, and he's like, "I just cannot believe I did that." He's another one that had pace to be there in the top 10. So Mr. Sandunga and Big Mama Frank in the top 10, Chris in the McLaren in the top 10. So we could have had four.
How about Tanner Desmond reserving?
Well, that was in Division 3.
Oh, was
it was?
Yeah.
Was it? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
oh,
you got
all right.
P4 and.
Yeah.
Well, we're off the Division 3 topic, but I was going to say Tanner Desmond came out and showed out for you guys at Mercedes as a reserve. So whenever that happens,
well, I mean, speaking of reserves, you left out that K-Seb showing up in a huge way in Div 2 and making it all the way.
No, K-Seb's in Div 2, but he showed up in Div 1. He showed up in Div 1 as a substitute, and he made it all the way to. Or wait, no, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm drunk, guys. Hey, listen, it's 10 in the morning, so you guys got to cut me some slack here. K-Seb's in Div 3. He showed up in Div 2, and he made it all the way to the Q3 session. So that was absolutely phenomenal for Honda. But unfortunately, qualifying doesn't get you any results. It just looks cool.
Well,
Yeah, you know how it goes. So, all right, moving on to Division 1. Adam, Alpine, how'd they go?
Quite similar actually to our results in Division 3. Not the way the weekend was planned to go. But sometimes you just have to persevere. Peter was got unlucky in cops and DNF'd in Q1, so he started from P20, made a recovery drive all the way back up to 7th, which, I mean, in Division 1 we all know how hard that is to try and get back up through the field. And then Ian just I don't know if he just choked in the beginning of the race and was just never able to recover. He was beating himself up pretty bad about that. Finishing P16th, so we're definitely looking for better results at Imola this week. Definitely going to be a lot harder to overtake. Not nearly as many, like half the DRS zones in a way smaller track, tighter track. So it's going to be very difficult. So qualifying will be key here this week.
Yeah. So Ian is one of those drivers who is just, it's a lot of times hit or miss, but when he's hit, Ian is one of the best drivers, if not the best driver in the league, and he's scary to deal with.
And just absolutely, like Russia, Imola is one of his stronger tracks, so
which we're gonna get to here in a second. But Division 1 Honda. I don't even think I need to say it anymore. I think you could see the smile on my face through my voice in the post-race interview. Man, I was just absolutely thrilled that we put that together. Honda got the 1, 2, 3, 4 on track. If Jack Fletcher didn't get that freaking 3-second time penalty, then we would be walking away with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So absolutely phenomenal job from Honda. And then Mercedes, how'd it go over there for you, Revis?
So a little disappointing. Razor and Victor did a great job. Jack Pemberton did a great job. So those guys were fine. Tom had kind of just an average race. He was running up there in P2 for most of the race, just praying for that really late safety car. Went, I think, 22 laps on his medium tires. So kept on the pace the whole time, but just by delaying that pit stop, wasn't able to make up any positions after the pits because there's only like 2 or 3 laps left. So there wasn't much Tom could do at that point. So P14 for him. Damian DNF'd. Lee Hall, again, probably could have been up there near the top 10 around Bob and Jason Pelter. But had I think he had some wing damage and then had a spin and just overall just kind of a forgetful race for him. But I expect him to make a big recovery this week.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. Overall, it was a really good race across Div 1. It was really clean. We did have one safety car. I think that the Honda boys and Razor actually benefited extremely from it. We got off our soft tires and we made it to the end and kind of just set us up for the success we had there. So, but yeah, as you guys were trying to jump ahead of me, the Imola Grand Prix. Go ahead.
Touch on a couple things here for Ferrari. My surprise / disappointment of the week. I'll pretend I'm Barnsley right here. Was actually Pilon. I was really surprised at how rough his race went. It seemed like every time we turned around, something had happened to him or something that he did where he made a little mistake. So Him
Yep.
down in P12, he could have been easily in that top 6.
Yeah, and Bronson
But just
Stafford,
a few instances.
having him back. How about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was
And
telling
this dude showed up 10 minutes before the race, and I think
always.
messaged you and is like, "Hey, do we have a race tonight?"
Yeah,
And he ends up P8. Like, that's amazing. That's
It's-
such talent.
completely typical of him too. So it's crazy that he does that. But I mean, yeah, I was telling Bronson like I appreciate you come back, man. Like I feel like this league is a better place when Bronson's here. He's a good dude to have around, and it's just nice to have him back.
Agreed.
All right, let's move on to we're done with the recaps. Let's go ahead and move on to we've got the Imola Grand Prix this week. So what have you guys gotten a chance to get some laps down at Imola? I know Revis didn't have too well of a time last night, but what's your guys' thoughts?
I had 4 laps. That's that. I mean, counting quali.
I know the first one you killed Dumb Welder. You destroyed him going into turn 1.
Allegedly. There's no actually there's evidence of that. I can't say there's no evidence of that. There's definitely evidence of that. I love the track personally. I think it's a fantastic track. It's tricky, it's technical. I don't like boring tracks. Like for me, Red Bull Ring used to be my favorite track because it was easy. Because I felt like I was going fast even when I wasn't. But a track like Imola, where I really have to think about my braking zones, where I'm turning in, when I get on the power, to me that the challenge of that is becoming more and more fun.
No, you're
Totally.
right. I see that. From a griping point of view, I guess I'll come from the opposite end. I've been doing a lot of Imola this week, and it has quickly become my least favorite track. And I'm putting that below China and below Canada. I would rather do 100% races there before I have to do another 50% race here. I'm not looking forward to it
Wow.
at all, if I'm going to be honest with you. And I'll tell you why. Imola has the most deadly curves of any track I have ever been to. And
Let's see that clip again.
yeah, well, I mean, you saw what happened to you, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I over at Honda, I'll tell you, we're not gonna leak the setups, but I'll tell you that this is the first time in a while that we've ran specific race setups completely different than what we're running in time trials, and we're not able like most weeks we'll take a time trial setup and we'll tweak it like a little bit here and there, but this is nothing like it, and it's just something that I'm gonna say 80% of Honda is probably gonna be using. You'll see it this weekend, and it's just completely for stability, and it's not fun to drive, but it feels like you have to because this track will just kill you. It'll come out of nowhere. Spanini actually debuted our setup last night in his win in the Academy division, so I think that we'll get into that in a little bit, I guess, but I think that we're in good hands as far as that goes. But this track is absolutely deadly, and I think we're gonna see a lot of safety cars. And I don't know. I think it could be an endurance battle of see who is the last to survive.
Yeah, just a battle of attrition on this track, right? Like,
Mhm.
I feel like this being the last track that F1 Cody's put into the game, they threw the kitchen book at it. They've literally made the curbs ice. When you do hit curbs, that sausage curbs, you don't know where you're going to end up. I will say from the Alpine camp through this week, it seems like people are enjoying setting time trials, but then to get what they know they can get that extra little bit out of, they feel like it's an impossible grind, right? That extra 2/10 that they think that they can get out of the track, it's been impossible to get because coming through the last chicane, it's so tight. You have to take on the curb, and I mean, a lot of reports just across the league is you just don't know where you're going to end up. Are you going to invalidate, get bounced all the way out to the outside curb and invalidate? And I watched Ethan do a few laps last night, and it was like he'd get up 2/10 and then he'd get to the back half of the track and he'd be down 2/10. It's amazing.
You literally have to pray to the curb gods. If you're up 2/10 and you come to that final curb, you're like, please don't send me, because that is the only chance of this lap getting I guess finishing it successively.
Right. And I mean, I will say, like in every other sim, Imola is one of my favorite tracks. I've taken the W12, the new W12 in iRacing around Imola, and it is a dream to drive, and it has not correlated over to that in the F1 game. So
nope.
It'll be interesting to see how what our results are coming out of this, because I think there's a lot of variable this week.
Yep. You guys think there's a chance of rain? I think there is a chance of rain, but do you think it will rain?
So it just historically and statistically speaking, yes, it will rain in either Division Two or Division Three or Division One.
Mm.
Because for whatever reason, Division Three is always dry, and that is not like a setting saying me or Siggy, cheating the system or anything. We
Oh,
all use the exact same settings,
allegedly.
but yeah, I mean, again, like I'm not sharing my screen on that. But Division Two seems to have rain the most, and then Division One has just slightly less. But Division Three is almost always dry, which is good because our more talented, experienced, stable drivers. You see how close the races are in Division One and Two. They can handle the rain better anyway, so it's better that that's happened that way. But you have to drive in the rain to develop that skill.
Yep, I agree.
Absolutely.
All right,
And yeah,
go ahead. You good?
I was just gonna say, yeah, it was funny, we were expecting rain at least in one of the divisions, like during the race for Silverstone. We got a wet qualifying for Division 3, so
Mm,
I do see some rain coming in a race this week.
yeah,
Just one division though. So
I'd have to agree. All right, well, let's move on from that. You got any predictions for tonight, Revis? What's your thoughts on Division 3? We have the Division 3 race at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. What's your predictions on? Give me a pick of someone you think's gonna boom, who's gonna do good, and give me someone who you think's gonna bust.
So I think somebody that's going to bust that everyone is expecting to boom is I'm going to predict OG because I
Ooh.
know how much he does not like this track. And even though he's quick right now, I feel like from talking to him and listening to him talk to other people, he doesn't feel fully comfortable and confident yet. And I think we're going to see a surprise race from Cushy. I think Cushy is going to be up there in that top 5 tonight. I think he has a really good chance to do that, even though he's a little bit off the pace from the fastest guys. Quishy tends to be really consistent
Yeah.
and a clean driver. He just kind of gets caught in some stuff. So
Yeah.
I think you might see a Ferrari near the top.
Yeah, I'll go.
as long as he can get his RAM to work.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course he'll still be miles behind Siggy and Tanner, but he'll be up there somewhere near the front.
Yeah, with my bust, I'm gonna go ahead and say, and this is, I'm not trying to like bash on anyone when I come to these, but I think this track isn't really well designed for axleized. I think
Mhm.
axleized is super fast. This is just he's accident prone, and this is a track that's not good for accident prone people. I think we're gonna see a lot of success from the people who are stable and generally just are good at getting around the track. So for that reason, I'm gonna say this, and you guys are gonna say whatever, but I think Buzz Guy is gonna have a really good time tonight, and I think a lot of it has to do with the setup that we're running over at Honda. Um, he is accident prone, but the setup we're using is almost spin proof, so I think that it won't matter, and I think he's gonna get away with the win. Adam, what you think?
So my boom or bust is actually the same person.
Mm.
I feel like Marino
Oh, okay.
is put a lot of pressure on himself because this is a home Grand Prix for him. And after the results of last week, I think he feels like he has a lot to prove coming into this, with the pressure of being the first round pick. So I feel like if he hasn't put too much pressure on himself and pushes too hard, then he will have a good result. Top 3 podium finish tonight. On the flip side of that, I I don't know. I have this inkling that he may be putting a little too much on his own shoulders, and he could find a curb and take a car or two out as well. So
Yeah, and it
we'll see.
happens, man. Don't feel guilty if it does happen, man. But this track is ruthless. So yeah, let's move on to Division Two. Revis, got any predictions for us? What you think's gonna happen?
So as much as I hate to pump the Alpines, I gotta go with my friend, my old teammate, the Division Three champion. I'd be really surprised if we don't see Johannes up there, P1 or on the podium. I mean, he's just so fast. He's so consistent. I think he had 2 DNFs all last season. The season before, I don't think he had any. He's just on another level. He should be in D1, but just the times don't work out with his real life schedule. And so between him and Sid, you can see them top 5. I think we're gonna see big things from Mr. Sandunga. I think you're gonna see him up near the top 5. And my disappointment that I'm expecting is Cole, because he always disappoints me regardless of what he does.
I'll tell you what,
He's just the
he
worst.
disappoints me too, man. You know, I engineer for the guy every week. I show up just to watch him DNF. It's a shame. I'm just kidding. So, yeah, for my booms, I got a couple written down over here actually. Well, first one I'm gonna say is Brian Hackman. The dude has been grinding in. He's joined a couple other leagues that he's practicing in as well. And last week's performance, I think we saw a different Brian Hackman than what we've seen in the past. So, in general, in the whole season, but specifically this week, I think that Brian Hackman's going to put on a performance that could put him at least on the podium. And then additionally, I think Sleek is back. So, we got rid of Jordan Angus and we brought Sleek in, right? So now that Sleek is here, I think Sleek is an animal that a lot of Division 2 doesn't want to mess with. I think Alpine definitely has a little bit of fear of like, oh hey, Sleek's actually pretty good now. What happened? Ethan was actually talking to me about that last night. So I know that it's there, and I'm ready to see Sleek turn up. For my bust, Dan Gouda DNF last week, and I have this weird feeling that I'm going to see him just bin it again, and it's going to be 2 in a row for Dan Gouda. But I hope that doesn't happen, Dan. Please prove me wrong.
Put that evil on him.
I don't want to curse anyone, but it's just, you know, you get into that bad juju and your bad state of mind, and you DNF and you come back, and it's like sometimes it's hard to get out of that slump, and this is a hard track to do it at. So Dan Gouda, you are my bust pick for the week. Adam, what you got?
So I am going to piggyback off you with Sleek. I feel like last week was just a sign of the times, and Sleek is not going to go anywhere anytime soon, and I think he's gonna have a great race. As far as my bus goes, gonna go with somebody who didn't race last week, and I don't know how much time he has into this. And so I'm gonna go with Connor.
Yep, that's a
you
good
know,
one.
it's late for him. It's like 3 a.m. Where's the focus going to be at? He's a little unhappy with the time slot, but he said he's committed to it. So we'll see. And I would like to say, as of right now, tonight we will have a full grid of all permanent D2 drivers. So this is going to be a great race, I think.
Yeah, that's really awesome that we have all 20 drivers run up. I think we have the same thing in Division 1 too. So we got 40 out of 40 attendance across the top 2 divisions. That's pretty cool. Speaking of Div 1, let's go ahead and move on to that. Revis, what are your predictions for tonight? And if you don't say that you predict me to win, I can remove you from the chat right now.
Duncan McCamick will win the race, everyone. It will be exciting as well. No, I think it's going to be what we always see in Div 1. It's going to be close, tight racing. The guy up front is going to get away clean for the most part, and then something's going to happen in the middle, whether it be a little bit of contact, somebody runs wide, and then it seems like the whole order jumps. And so I of course have to pump my guys. I think Victor and Razor, Jack Pemberton are all going to have week. Jack, I know, is super hard, and I think he's disappointed with what happened last week. I've seen him on this week. So I think our surprise, though, if somebody was going to have a surprise session, I think it's going to be. I think he's going to be real mad about what happened last week.
Who's that? You cut out. You cut out.
Oh, sorry, Pelon. John Pelon.
Okay, yep.
And I think if Pelon drives angry but is able to control that anger and focus it, I think we're going to see, full form Pelon this weekend. As far as my bust, I think it's going to be a repeat of last week. And I think it's going to be Ian. And I think it's just because he, like I've talked about before on some of the streams, is Ian just pushes so hard trying to find that extra little tenth, trying to find that, how do I get fastest lap? And forgets about the long game. And maybe overcooks his tires, maybe goes a little wide. So I think Ian you're going to see him up near the front at the beginning, but I'm afraid that something will happen and he'll fall back like he did last week.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit opposite of that. I'm actually going to go ahead and say that I think Ian could be he could be a stud this week. He's been grinding this track. This is his favorite track. The stability thing worries me a little bit, but I think if Ian keeps it on the track, which is pretty much all he has to do, he's got a pretty unmatched pace here, Demla. In practice and time trials this week, he's been blowing everyone out of the water, and it's not close. So this is Ian's track to win. If he does it or not is completely on him. But my other, I'm gonna make two booms here, I guess. The other person who I think could do great is my teammate, actually, Joel Guron. Sorry, I keep messing that up. Joel, he has been grinding this track all week as well. And he's running his own setup, but he's got something that's a little more stable. And specifically, if it rains, I think we all know what Joel can do in the rain. That could make a huge difference, and I think that we could see him be on track for another podium and a great start of the season. For my bust, I'm actually gonna go ahead and go with someone who you guys might not expect, but I think Bronson Stafford. We've already talked about him. I could see him busting here just because the track is so hard to get used to, and if he doesn't practice and he just shows up, and you're gonna see what the track is like, just like on the spot, I think that he's probably in for it, and he's gonna be lucky to finish the race. If he does, it'll probably be in the back after a couple spins. So Bronson's probably in for it this week. Unfortunately, Bronson, I'm sorry to say, but watch you prove me wrong and end up with the podium or a win regardless. That'd be funny. So, Adam, what you think?
And that's actually, I was gonna go against you on that one. I got your podium for you. Ian 1, Bronson 2, Travis 3.
Okay.
Interesting.
And I'll throw in a fourth, Peter, right outside. Kind of not making a full comeback from last week, but gonna be knocking on the door. I think Travis holds him off late in the race. I think it's gonna be really, really close for the top 4 positions. So that, and then for my bust, oh man, I haven't thought too much about this, but I'm gonna go with I don't know. I feel like Victor has gotten a lot more consistent, but I think tonight or tomorrow night it just kind of jumps out and gets him, and he finishes P15 or below. Sorry, Victor.
Whoa,
That's kind of crazy. Yeah, Victor's.
That's a big prediction.
Yeah, it is, because Victor's always so consistent that'd be crazy to see him out of order like that. But anyway, guys, that is all the topics we were going to talk about today. Revis, do you have anything to add before we close out the show?
I got a comment from Bob Loblaw in Discord saying you guys are sleeping on me, and that's another thing. Bob is super fast. Yeah. He just needs to remember to use his ERS and DRS properly. And I think that's the only thing that he has trouble with. I think he said some problems with his wheel, consistently giving him good inputs and feedback. But yeah, Bob's a great driver. I know we didn't talk a lot about Ferrari because your team boss isn't here.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, all in all, in Division 1, man, I seriously feel like any day anyone could win a race or get a podium at least. It's just crazy. It's a crazy grid. It's really fun to drive.
So yeah, so hard to pick somebody out of that. So
yeah,
that's why I gave you 4.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. Yeah, Adam's just like, look, the more people I pick, then I can't be wrong, right? So
right. So I think everybody is going to finish P1 to P20. There we
go. What a bold statement. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning into the show. If you aren't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Like the video, and we will be back next week, same time. And also, also at noon today, we have our Imola track guide on time, obviously, coming a couple hours before the race by Peter Giordano. We'll have a premiere for that, so make sure you tune in to the Imola track guide premiere here in an hour and 20 minutes. And then here at 8 p.m. tonight, we have our Division 2 or 3 race, followed by our Division 2 race at 10 p.m. Tomorrow, Division 1 race. Like I said, like, subscribe, join our Discord. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out, and have a good morning. See you guys.
Au revoir.
Yep.
Go Mercedes.
Go Honda.